Q Group 6769029330. Lin Chen traveled to the love apartment. He seduced a beautiful girlfriend. It's the one described by people as quiet as a virgin, dynamic as a crazy rabbit, big sister in a love apartment, female demon head, and queen. Hu Yifei. At the beginning of love, readers are invited to come in and take a few chapters before walking. Thank you. Keywords of the novel. Love apartment. My Girlfriend Hu Yifei no pop-ups, love apartment. My Girlfriend Hu Yifei complete collection download, love apartment. My Girlfriend Hu Yifei latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. My Love Apartment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. My Love Apartment. Magic City, Love Apartment, Room 3601. A handsome young man leaned against the sofa, watching Hu Yifei roaring into the walkie-talkie. Yes. The red carpet is 80 meters long. What's going on? You're missing me by 5 meters. This boss is too wicked, isn't he? The price of pork has increased, and the carpets are also lacking in weight compared to me. Is their carpet made of pigskin? Notify the lawyer. I want to sue him. Lin Chen, a high-quality youth of the 21st century. A year ago, he, who was originally looking at a love apartment at home, accidentally knocked over a water cup, and after the water flowed into the plug.in board, he was electrocuted and crossed into the world of a love apartment. Starting check.in. Lin Chen silently recited in his heart. Ding, successful check.in. Congratulations to the host for mastering hosting skills. A electronic sound came to mind, and Lin Chen felt an itch in his throat. This is the system after Lin Chen crossed over, the check.in system. There are no tasks, just like clocking in at work, you can check in every day. After signing in, you will receive rewards from the system. So, during this year, he checked in every day and gained rewards through the system check.in, basically becoming an all-around expert. At first, the system gave 1 million soft girls, and then there was mastery of various skills. For example, half a year ago, Lin Chen became proficient in computer science, and 3 months ago, he became proficient in massage techniques. Thanks to the rewards provided by the check.in system, Lin Chen established an intelligent technology company with a market value of billions. Then, he handed it over to someone else to manage and became the behind-the-scenes boss himself. Yifei, do you need help hiring a lawyer? I'll go help you now. Lin Chen asked thoughtfully. He actually doesn't want to stay here anymore. According to the plot, Zeng Xiaoxian will come over to argue with Hu Yifei later. At that time, Hu Yifei will definitely let Lin Chen make a choice. Are you listening to Hu Yifei or Zeng Xiaoxian? In order not to make a choice, Lin Chen decided to have 30.6 plans, and going is the best plan. What? Staying with me makes you feel bored? Hu Yifei asked softly. Lin Chen doesn't eat Hu Yifei's tricks. He still doesn't understand Hu Yifei's personality. It's quite boring. Lin Chen nodded and said. Upon hearing Lin Chen's answer, Hu Yifei not only didn't get angry, but also laughed. Stay with me even if you're bored. If that slut Zeng Xiaoxian comes back to argue with me later, you must stand on my side. Otherwise. Hu Yifei first let out a roar, then crushed the walkie-talkie she had just held in her hand. Lin Chen pointed to the back of Hu Yifei and said. No problem, but you need to take a look at the cake behind you first. Cake. What's wrong with the cake? Hu Yifei turned her head and didn't notice any problem with the cake. She then turned her head and asked. However, when she turned her head again, Lin Chen had already disappeared. Damn it. Lin Chen, you ungrateful guy. At the entrance of 3601, Lin Chen couldn't help but tremble when he heard Hu Yifei's deafening roar. Although he has learned a lot of martial arts through his system. But for some reason, I still can't beat Hu Yifei. At most, We can only draw with Hu Yifei, and it's still when Hu Yifei doesn't use a flick. This is the answer that Lin Chen and Hu Yifei have been together for a year. Arriving at the wedding venue downstairs, Lin Chen walked aimlessly. The plot of the love apartment has already begun. Previously, it could only be watched through a screen, but now it can be experienced firsthand. Lin Chen couldn't describe this feeling. "Hey, brother, do you want the divine skill pill?" Suddenly, Lin Chen's shoulder was patted. Lin Chen looked at the person patting his shoulder and smiled, saying, "Shengong pill. If you eat it, you can become Xiao Feng." Of course it's possible. This is the most technologically advanced crystal at the moment. It is extracted from natural Australian raw materials. It uses nanotechnology, high-temperature cold extraction technology, and cloning technology. Every divine skill pill is rich in the nutrients that the human body needs. Lin Chen took the divine skill pill from LV Ziqiao's hand and looked at it, saying, "Are you a laxative, right?" Lin Chen quickly analyzed the ingredients of Shengong pill through the system. "If you eat this thing, you can definitely have a diarrhea for thousands of miles." Seeing that his divine skill pill had been exposed, LV Ziqiao awkwardly smiled and said, "It does have a moisturizing and defecating effect. Handsome guy, would you like a bottle? It's on sale now, only 99 yuan. No need, you can use it yourself." Lin Chen threw the divine skill pill back to LV Ziqiao and then left. LV Ziqiao shouted at Lin Chen's back, "Hello. Brother, I have other options here, such as Demiamaru and Miracle Maru. Do you want to learn more about them?" Lin Chen pretended not to hear him and quickened his pace of departure. Lin Chen continued to stroll while constantly scanning through the crowd. Since LV Ziqiao has already appeared, then Chen Meijia must also appear together. She and LV Ziqiao are like a pair of enemies, going around and around, but in the end, they will still let Chen Meijia meet LV Ziqiao. As expected, Lin Chen discovered Chen Meijia. She is now looking left and right, holding on to the candy placed on the table and putting it into her shoulder bag. Cough. Lin Chen walked behind Chen Meijia and pretended to cough. Startled Chen Meijia, she quickly pretended that nothing had happened. When she turned around and saw Lin Chen, her eyes were filled with love and she whispered, "How handsome." Chen Meijia looked at Lin Chen, and Lin Chen was also looking at Meijia. In fact, Lin Chen cannot say how much he likes or particularly dislikes Chen Meijia in the drama. Unlike his fondness for Hu Yifei, Lin Wanyu, Qin Yuma, and Dolly in the drama. "Miss, judging from your appearance, you really like to eat candy, right?" Chen Meijia was stunned for a moment, not yet understanding what Lin Chen meant. However, he quickly realized and explained. "Yes, that's right, I really like to eat candy." Then, Chen Meijia put on a pitiful look and said, "You wouldn't treat me like a person who eats and drinks, would you?" With tears in her eyes and a soft voice, Chen Meijia couldn't help but give herself a thumbs up in her heart. "Can this make the handsome guy pay attention to me?" she thought to herself. Lin Chen saw through Chen Meijia's trick at first glance and knew she was deliberately pretending to be pitiful, so he wanted to deliberately tease her. "Of course not, so." Lin Chen stretched out his voice, then suddenly changed his tone and asked, "What are the names of the groom and bride?" "Ah." Chen Meijia was stunned, how could she answer? This. Alright, I'm just joking with you. Let's get to know each other. My name is Lin Chen." Chen Meijia breathed a sigh of relief, reached out her hand and shook hands with Lin Chen, and introduced herself. "My name is Chen Meijia, nice to meet you." Two hands clasped together, Lin Chen wanted to let go, but Chen Meijia held on to his hand tightly. "Can you let go of that? Now." End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Wedding Interlude, new book for collectors. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 2 Wedding Interlude, New Book for Collectors. I'm sorry, I forgot to let go for a moment when I saw such a handsome guy like you. Chen Meijia stuck out her tongue and quickly released her hand, apologizing. Alright, Meijia, I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Can you leave a contact information? This is my business card with my phone number on it. Lin Chen took out a business card from the pocket of his black suit and handed it to Chen Meijia. Chenguang Intelligent Technology Company. Chairman, Lin Chen. Chen Meijia looked at the words on it and said. She seemed to have heard of this name somewhere before, but for some reason she couldn't remember it. When she was about to look up and inquire about Lin Chen's company, she didn't see Lin Chen's figure. At this moment, Lin Chen returned to 3601 and had not yet opened the door when he heard Hu Yifei's angry roar. I am the chief director of the wedding. You must listen to me. I'm still the host of the wedding. Zeng Xiaoxian retorted. Lin Chen opened the door and walked in. Hu Yifei and Zeng Xiaoxian both looked at him. Hu Yifei said with a strange tone. Oh, I thought someone wasn't coming back. Lin Chen didn't take it seriously, sat on the sofa, crossed his legs, and said. Yifei, why can't I come back? I just went to buy you some pancakes. Speaking, Lin Chen grabbed the cake and took it out. After just leaving Chen Meijia, Lin Chen quickly bought a grab cake with his money ability. For no other reason, in order to avoid being beaten by Hu Yifei. Hu Yifei happily took the cake and sat next to Lin Chen, laughing. You have some conscience, sister didn't hurt you in vain, she touched Lin Chen's head as if touching a child. Lin Chen tugged at the corner of his mouth, expressing that he didn't want to argue too much with this domineering woman. Zeng Xiaoxian walked up to Lin Chen and extended his hand. Why? Lin Chen asked in confusion. What about mine? What's yours? My hand-grabbing cake. Why does Hu Yifei have it, I don't have it? Lin Chen glanced at him and said in silence. You didn't ask me to buy it again. Zeng Xiaoxian's face instantly became depressed, and he let out a cold snort before leaving 3601. After Zeng Xiaoxian left, Hu Yifei laughed heartily and hugged Lin Chen's neck, saying with a smile. Lin Chen, you did a great job. Cough and cough. Because Hu Yifei was grabbing pancakes while eating, her smile directly choked her. Lin Chen patted her back and said. Alright, don't get angry with teacher Zeng. We need to do a good job with Ernyo and Taiju's wedding. If you do this, you will ruin the wedding. Perhaps it was because Hu Yifei knew that these things wouldn't go well, so she said. I didn't get angry with that slut, okay? You'll arrange the wedding later. Me. Yes, you. You'll be the host of the wedding, and I'll be the chief director. Lin Chen thought for a moment, and just as he was about to refuse, he heard a burst of classical music coming from outside. Hu Yifei and Lin Chen were both stunned and exchanged a glance. Hu Yifei quickly took out the walkie-talkie and asked. What's going on? Where's the rock band I hired? Lin Chen covered his face and said. Didn't teacher Zeng go out just now? I think he might have caused it. Let's go check the situation. Hu Yifei took a deep breath and angrily said. This despicable Zeng Xiaoxian dares to change my plan. As he spoke, he rushed out of 3601. Lin Chen silently mourned for 3 seconds for Zeng Xiaoxian in his heart. If nothing unexpected happens later, Zeng Xiaoxian may be beaten up. Fellow villagers, brothers and sisters, I am your friend Zeng Xiaoxian. The two arrived at the wedding venue and saw Zeng Xiaoxian holding a microphone, standing on the wedding stage, introducing himself. Under the stage, the guests, as well as Chen Meijia and LV Ziqiao who met again at this moment, looked at Zeng Xiaoxian. Damn it, you dare to sabotage my plan. Get up 2 security guards and pull that guy down for me. Hu Yifei held the walkie-talkie and said. After speaking, he said to Lin Chen again. Lin Chen, when Zeng Xiaoxian is pulled down later, you can push him up. This is not very good, is it? There's nothing bad about it. Do you want to watch Ernyo and Iron Pillar's wedding ruin on that guy? Okay, I'll go. 2 security guards rushed out from the stage and pulled Zeng Xiaoxian down. Lin Chen hurriedly arrived at the podium. Sorry, just now was an appetizer snack prepared by our wedding director Hu Yifei for everyone, hoping to amuse everyone. Lin Chen first straightened out the situation. Otherwise, these guests might think that something went wrong with the wedding later. Sure enough, after Lin Chen finished explaining, everyone in the audience applauded. Zeng Xiaoxian, who was pulled down from the stage, angrily approached Hu Yifei and pointed to Lin Chen on stage, questioning him. Hu Yifei, what's going on here? I'm the host of the wedding, and I'm also professional. How could you let non-professionals like Lin Chen come up here? What's the point? Hu Yifei hugged her arm and looked at Lin Chen on stage, who had no stage fright and interacted with the guests, calmly saying. I am the chief director of the wedding. What person do I want to arrange? Do I need your opinion? Can. Before Zeng Xiaoxian could utter his words, he only heard Lin Chen on stage shouting loudly. The wedding car has arrived. Let's welcome the bride and groom in. The guests consciously stood on both sides and made way in the middle. Lin Chen had already guessed who the person arrived and stepped down to say to Hu Yifei. Yifei, let's go up and see the groom and bride. Okay. They had just arrived at the wedding car when the car door opened, and a silly man and a pure and beautiful girl walked down. They are exactly Lu Zhanbo and Lin Wanyu. Lu Zhanbo looked at the applauding guests and sighed. How grand. I didn't expect my sister to welcome me back so much. What's so strange about the way they look at us? Lin Wanyu looked puzzled. Lin Chen beside explained. This is the wedding scene, you came in the wedding car, so everyone looked at you with blessings in their eyes. Wedding. Getting married. Lin Wanyu looked panicked and thought to herself, I just avoided the blind date arranged by my father. Didn't I expect to get married as soon as I came out? Well, my friend got married. Oh, that's good, that's good. Lin Wanyu breathed a sigh of relief. As long as she didn't get married, who would get married? Hu Yifei pulled Lu Zhanbo aside and asked Zhanbo, how could you be in the wedding car? Lu Zhanbo scratched his head and said. Sister, this is a long story, we'll talk about it later. This is my friend, Lin Wanyu. Hello, my name is Hu Yifei. Hu Yifei looked at Lin Wanyu with a smile on her aunt's face. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. During the wedding, request for recommended tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. During the wedding, request for recommended tickets, Hu Yifei introduced to Lin Chen. This is my younger brother, his name is Lu Zhanbo. Lin Chen extended his hand and smiled, saying. Hello, I'm Yifei's friend. My name is Lin Chen. Lin Chen, Lu Zhanbo, and Lin Wanyu shook hands gently. When shaking hands with Lin Wanyu looked at Lin Chen's handsome face and was slightly stunned. A hint of shyness appeared on his pure face. Hu Yifei felt a bit uneasy when she saw this. But she didn't care, thinking it was her own illusion. Zeng Xiaoxian also imitated Lin Chen's appearance and extended his hand, introducing himself. Hello, I am Zeng Xiaoxian, a famous radio host. Hu Yifei pushed away Zeng Xiaoxian's hand and said. This is my enemy, you don't need to talk to him. She was still angry that Zeng Xiaoxian had just sabotaged her plan, so she didn't want to introduce Zeng Xiaoxian. Lin Wanyu bowed slightly and smiled, saying. Hello everyone. Nice to meet you all. Although Hu Yifei said so, Lin Wanyu did not dislike Zeng Xiaoxian and still greeted him. Seeing them like this, Lin Chen said. Yifei, you guys talk first, I'll go control the situation first. Lin Chen was mentally prepared and knew before taking the stage that something would happen, so he had already figured out how to explain to the guests later. Hu Yifei finally remembered that the wedding was still taking place and said, "Let's talk after the wedding. Lin Chen, go control the scene first. Zeng Xiaoxian, go find the priest for me." "Okay." Lin Chen walked onto the stage again and said, "Just now was the second warm-up program arranged by our chief director. She said it was to allow everyone to rehearse in advance how to welcome the groom and bride. From the performance just now, everyone has performed well. Later, when the groom and bride enter, I hope everyone can still maintain their current state." Another wedding car drove over, and this time the real groom and bride came down. Lin Chen. Lin Chen. On stage, as Lin Chen watched the arrival of the groom and bride, he heard Hu Yifei's shouts. "What's wrong, Yifei?" Lin Chen asked. "The priest hasn't come out of the restroom yet, so we're missing a priest now," Hu Yifei said. So what?" Hu Yifei looked at Lin Chen, raised her eyebrows, and smiled. Lin Chen instantly understood her meaning and said in silence, "Please, I'm already the host, okay? Now let me be a priest again, you're blind as guests. There's nothing we can do. You're the only one here who excels in English," Hu Yifei said. She knows Lin Chen's job and has also been to Lin Chen's company. She often sees Lin Chen chatting with some foreigners in English, which is why she made Lin Chen a priest. But Lin Chen's face was full of refusal. He had originally planned not to get involved, but now he is both a host and a priest. If this were to spread, he, the chairman of a billion-dollar company, would not be able to save face. Hu Yifei said earnestly. "You know, Ernyo has always wanted a Western-style wedding. If we mess up the wedding, it would be so bad. Yifei, Well, if you agree, tonight." Hu Yifei looked around and whispered in Lin Chen's ear. Lin Chen swallowed his saliva and asked with uncertainty. Really, okay. No problem. I agreed, bring the priest's clothes over." Lin Chen smiled and said. He didn't want to agree either, but the conditions offered by Hu Yifei were too tempting. Hu Yifei waved her hand, and Zeng Xiaoxian immediately handed the priest's clothes stolen from the toilet to Lin Chen. "Zeng Xiaoxian, hold on to your position as the host first, and Lin Chen goes to change clothes." "Okay." Zeng Xiaoxian happily took the microphone and walked onto the stage. "At this wonderful moment of sharing the grand occasion, I can feel the strong blessings everyone has given to this new couple. Therefore, we have also received a special congratulatory letter from this new couple's special lunar elder, who is the founder of our apartment." Zeng Xiaoxian paused for a moment and took out a red envelope from his clothes. Applause rang out from the audience again. Zeng Xiaoxian opened the letter, looked at the content above, and read. "I am glad to see such a young couple getting married in my house, and I send them my blessings. You have fulfilled my wish, and I welcome all lovers to move into my apartment. Here, I would like to send 2 gifts. The first gift is for the new couple. Within my ability, I can fulfill their wish. The second gift is for everyone, and anyone who falls in love with someone in our apartment later can enjoy water and electricity free, rent halved." After speaking, Zeng Xiaoxian shouted loudly. "Let's welcome the entry of the groom and bride." The wedding car slowly drove over, and the guests applauded once again. Hu Yifei held the walkie-talkie and said with a serious expression. "All guards. Light up, music up. Everything that needs to be lit up. Attention. This is not a drill. It's not a wolf coming this time. It's real." Lin Chen stood next to her and gently patted Hu Yifei, saying. "Yifei, don't be nervous. I know. You go up quickly." Lin Chen walked onto the stage, and Wang Taizhu and Tian Erniu looked at Lin Chen in a priest's costume in confusion. Cough. Ladies and gentlemen. Lin Chen pretended not to see their strange eyes and took on his job as a priest in English. Hu Yifei nodded in satisfaction, secretly grateful that the wedding had not been ruined by him. After Lin Chen finished hosting, Zeng Xiaoxian took the stage again and asked. Two newcomers, the landlord can give you a wish. What is your wish? Wang Taizhu and Tian Erniu exchanged a glance and spoke in the same voice. We hope to pass on our happiness, and our wish is that from today on, our apartment will be called Love Apartment. Quickly, the wedding was over, and Wang Taizhu and Tian Erniu left in the wedding car. Lin Chen and the others also went to the hotel, where Wang Taizhu and Tian Erniu prepared a banquet. The next morning, 3601, in Hu Yifei's room. Lin Chen and Hu Yifei hugged each other, their heads pressed against each other, sleeping soundly. Lin Chen slowly opened his eyes. When he saw Hu Yifei in front of him, he was about to move, but found that his arm was being pressed by Hu Yifei's head. Just as he was about to reach out and lift Hu Yifei's head, Hu Yifei slowly opened her eyes. For a moment, the air froze and the room was filled with the smell of death. Pop 1. Flash. Bang. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Sleep. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Sleep. Yifei, what are you doing? Lin Chen covered his chest and said dejectedly. Hu Yifei clenched her fist and said coldly. What? What are you saying? I didn't expect you to be such a person, Lin Chen. What's wrong with me? What's wrong? You take advantage of me getting drunk and... Hu Yifei became increasingly angry as she thought about it. I am still a yellow flower girl, I didn't expect to be so confused last night, Lin Chen said in silence. Please, if we really do that, would you still be wearing clothes? Besides, take a look at the bed. Is there any evidence? Hu Yifei touched her body, her clothes were still there, and then lifted the blanket, there was nothing. Lin Chen knew that Hu Yifei had confirmed that the two of them had not done anything last night and said. Look, you haven't done anything. Why are you nervous? Hu Yifei also knew she had misunderstood, pointed to the door, and shouted. Get out. Okay, Lin Chen hurriedly left the room, feeling embarrassed. Why did he sleep with Hu Yifei last night in a daze? Just as he came out of the room, Lin Chen looked at the room again and saw that no one else was there. He hurriedly ran back to his own room. In the next few days, both Lin Chen and Hu Yifei seemed to deliberately avoid each other. As long as one person appears there, the other person will find an excuse to leave. This made Zeng Xiaoxian and others all look confused, not understanding what was going on between them. Due to the addition of Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu, Zeng Xiaoxian was driven to 3602 by Hu Yifei, allowing him to live with the newlywed couple Lv Ziqiao and Chen Meijiao. On that day, Lin Chen was lying on the sofa of 3601, looking at his notebook, when Hu Yifei opened the door from outside and came back. As soon as Lin Chen saw Hu Yifei, he immediately got up and prepared to leave. Stop. Hu Yifei stopped Lin Chen, who was preparing to walk from the balcony to 3602. I have something to say to you. What's going on? This is the first time Lin Chen and Hu Yifei have spoken in a few days. Hu Yifei sat on the sofa and patted the sofa next to her, saying. You sit down first, let's talk slowly. Lin Chen sat on the sofa according to Hu Yifei's words. Hu Yifei looked at Lin Chen and said. After thinking for a moment, let's just treat what happened that night as if it hadn't happened. I forgive you. I didn't do anything originally. Lin Chen whispered a sentence. As soon as I finished speaking, I felt something was wrong. Sure enough, when I turned my head, I saw Hu Yifei's cold eyes. Okay. Just pretend it didn't happen. Lin Chen hurriedly said. Hu Yifei nodded in satisfaction and then said. That's good. Also, this matter cannot be spread or let others know. Okay, no problem. I don't want anyone to know, otherwise how would I make a girlfriend? Lin Chen shrugged his shoulders. He dare not disobey Hu Yifei's words now, otherwise his head may be twisted off by Hu Yifei on the spot. When Hu Yifei heard Lin Chen say she wanted to have a girlfriend, she frowned slightly, but quickly relaxed again. Alright, that's all. By the way, if you're eating at home for lunch, should you go to your company to eat? Hu Yifei asked. When Lin Chen first moved in, he often cooked and ate in the apartment. Hu Yifei, Zeng Xiaoxian, and the others were enjoying their meals together, and they often joked that Lin Chen might as well become a chef. I'll see then. I'll go to the company later. Lin Chen looked at the time and found that it was only 8 o'clock in the morning, which was still early for lunch. Hu Yifei waved her hand and said. Go. Go. Okay. At noon, Lin Chen returned from the company and as soon as he opened the door, he saw Lu Zhanbo and Lin Wanyu whispering to each other, whispering something. Lu Zhanbo saw that it was Lin Chen and gestured with his hand for Lin Chen to speak quietly. Lin Chen leaned his head over and asked, What's wrong? Lu Zhanbo pointed in the direction of the kitchen and asked Lin Chen to take a look. When Lin Chen looked at the kitchen, he was startled and instantly had an impulse to run out. In the kitchen, Hu Yifei was holding a kitchen knife and swaying back and forth. Under the sunshine, the kitchen knife emitted a faint silver light. Didn't Hu Yifei say that things have already passed? Why are you still holding a kitchen knife? Does she want to kill people and silence them? Lin Chen thought to himself. Zhanbo, how long has your sister been holding a knife like this? Lu Zhanbo replied softly. About 5 minutes, after she finished buying groceries from outside and came back, it was like this. Buy groceries back. Lin Chen looked puzzled. He poked Lu Zhanbo with his finger and said. Zhanbo, go ask what the situation is. Okay. Lu Zhanbo swallowed his saliva and cautiously walked towards Hu Yifei, who was playing with the kitchen knife. Sister, who made you unhappy? Hu Yifei replied lightly. Pork. After speaking, he glanced at Lin Chen sitting next to Lin Wanyu. Lin Chen couldn't help but feel startled and moved his body towards Lin Wanyu's side. Dang! Hu Yifei forcefully inserted the kitchen knife into the cutting board, making a muffled sound. The price of pork downstairs has increased. As she spoke, she took out the vegetables to clean. Lu Zhanbo breathed a sigh of relief and smiled, saying. Harmful, why did I do it? The price of pork downstairs has increased, you can buy it from someone else's house downstairs. That's it. Hu Yifei looked silently at her inexperienced younger brother and mocked him, saying. You're really a genius. The notice downstairs says, the price of pork worldwide has increased. Are you asking your sister Nai to go to Mars to buy pork? Lin Wanyu sat on the sofa, eating KFC, and comforted, saying. It's okay. Fei. As long as the price of chicken doesn't increase, it's okay. So, we can eat KFC every day. Or we can have a steak combo every day. Lu Zhanbo added. Hu Yifei. Lin Chen. These two people are really not in charge, I don't know how expensive the daily necessities are. Hu Yifei glanced at both of them and walked onto the sofa, sitting directly next to Lin Chen. Lin Chen comforted and said. Alright, don't be angry. I'll reimburse you for the money you spend on groceries in the future. It's really not possible, you can go to our company for dinner, anyway you also have our company meal card. Previously, Lin Chen gave Hu Yifei, Zeng Xiaoxian, and the already married Wang Taizhu and Tian Erniu a meal card from his company. Going to your company to eat is not a long-term thing, but since you said you want to reimburse me for the money spent on groceries, I'll be more respectful than obedient. Hu Yifei smiled and said. Okay, as long as you're happy. In the future, you can buy whatever you want for dinner and I'll reimburse you. Lin Chen said with a look of, he doesn't need money. He did this mainly to ease his relationship with Hu Yifei. To be honest, he has had a slight fondness for Hu Yifei over the past year of being with her. Recommend an urban dog food article, My Girlfriend Comes from Wasteland. It is clear and hearty, sweet and funny, with delicate emotions, and some parts can only be understood. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Teach me how to make money. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Teach me how to make money. Hu Yifei glanced at Lin Chen and said, let's forget it. Your money is also money, and I can't waste your money just for my own liking. After speaking, Hu Yifei's eyes suddenly moved and she leaned against Lin Chen's body, laughing. Lin Chen, teach me how to make money. Ah. Teach you how to make money. Lin Chen was stunned for a moment. How should he teach him this? Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu looked at Hu Yifei with a strange expression on their faces, not understanding why Hu Yifei asked such a question. They have been in the apartment for several days now and have never seen Lin Chen go to work. How could Lin Chen possibly make money? Moreover, even if we can make money, can we still make tens of thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars at once? Sister, will Lin Chen make money? Lu Zhanhua looked at Hu Yifei with suspicion and asked. Lin Wanyu nodded and said. Yeah, Feifei. If you want a job that can be easy and earn a lot of money, it's already written in the criminal law, isn't it? Hu Yifei pointed at Lin Chen and said. You too wouldn't think that when you wake up at noon and see Lin Chen in the apartment, you think Lin Chen is just as unemployed as you too, right? Both Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu have just arrived. Lu Zhanhua has been looking for a job recently, but hasn't found one yet. Lin Wanyu doesn't have a job either, but through Hu Yifei's observations in the past few days, it seems that Lin Wanyu doesn't seem to be short of money. The two nodded. Ha ha ha. Look, it makes you so low-key as usual. Hu Yifei laughed heartily and slammed her hand hard on Lin Chen's thigh. Lin Chenbai glanced at her and took Hu Yifei's hand away. Hu Yifei smiled for a while and then explained. Don't be fooled by Lin Chen living in our apartment, but this guy is actually the chairman of a billion-dollar company. You should know about Chengwang Intelligent Technology Company, right? I know. That company is the world's largest supplier of mobile phone chips, and they have also developed the Morning Light mobile phone system. Recently, I heard in the news that their company is researching artificial intelligence technology as well as new holographic projection and drone technologies. Lu Zhanhua quickly replied. As a programmer, he naturally has knowledge in this area. Moreover, being able to work at Chengwang Intelligent Technology Company is the dream of every programmer. Lin Wanyu said. I have also heard that the company is indeed very powerful. Their company has previously stated that they will not go public, which shows that their company's funds must be particularly abundant. No company in the world can afford to spend so much on research and development in a year and still insist on not going public. Wanyu, it seems that you know this company very well. Lin Chen said with a hint of meaning. Hee, it's okay, it's okay. Lin Wanyu dared not look into Lin Chen's eyes and answered perfunctorily. Hu Yifei said. Well, Lin Chen is the chairman of Chengwang Intelligent Technology Company. Although he looks ordinary, this guy is actually very low-key. What? Lu Zhanhua looked at Lin Chen in surprise. Cough cough, I originally planned to get along with you as ordinary people, but I didn't expect. Alright, stop pretending, stall. Ah. Before Lin Chen could finish speaking, Hu Yifei pinched her thigh. What are you doing? Lin Chen asked in silence. The momentum I just put on suddenly dissipated. I'm afraid that someone will be too proud to find the southeast, northwest, northwest. Alright, tell me how to make money quickly. Hu Yifei said. Lin Chen didn't mind being pinched by Hu Yifei just now. He took out his notebook and said. Making money is actually not difficult. Can we buy stocks? Hu Yifei rolled her eyes and said, it's okay if you don't mention stocks. Whenever you mention stocks, I get angry. What's wrong? What's wrong with the stocks? What else can I do? You don't know, when others buy stocks, they all go up sharply, but when I buy stocks, I go down sharply. Hu Yifei has a bad airway. Lin Chen patted Hu Yifei's shoulder and comforted her, saying. It's normal for stocks to fluctuate. Can you tell me which stock you bought and I'll help you analyze it? Hu Yifei frowned for a moment and said, it seems like some Lin's International Bank. Hey, Lin Chen, you said I won't be unlucky. Their stocks are like chicken blood, and the one I bought is like opium. Wanyu, who was eating potato chips on the side, paused with her hand in the air. Lin Chen happened to glance over at Wanyu and saw her like this, gently pushing her. Having seen the love apartment, he knew that Lin Wanyu was the daughter of Lin's International Bank. And, when Lin Chen attended a party before, she met Lin Wanyu and her father at the party. They have all talked, and Lin Wanyu's father had previously thought of marrying Lin Wanyu to Lin Chen. However, Lin Chen refused at that time. Sister, the momentum of the financial sector has been quite good lately. Lu Zhanbo rode. He also bought stocks, but didn't buy much, just occasionally looking at them. Lin Wanyu watched the TV and analyzed. Feifei, my personal suggestion is that you should buy it quickly. That's the banker's fundraising, releasing goods to accumulate funds. It's McGonagall Financial, Sichuan Consulting, and Tiankuei Insurance are all the same. Once the banker has chips, they naturally push them up all the way. Now it's time to replenish the position, just waiting for it to explode. Hu Yifei and Lu Zhanbo stared at Lin Wanyu in amazement. Is this still the innocent Lin Wanyu they knew? Lin Chen covered her face and said that when it comes to stock insider information, she is not afraid that her father will be so angry that he will vomit blood. Lin Chen, is what Wanyu said true? Hu Yifei regained her senses, but was still somewhat surprised. It's true. I have also analyzed their stocks, and what Wanyu said is indeed true. In order not to expose Lin Wanyu's identity, Lin Chen had to panic and help Lin Wanyu round the situation. With Lin Chen's approval, Hu Yifei pushed Lin Chen aside and sat next to Lin Wanyu. I didn't expect you, Wanyu, to be so amazing. Are you amazing? They just have some tricks. I watch the analysis of the bald host on the finance channel every day and guess it. Lin Wanyu also knew that she had said too much, so she quickly found a reason to lie. With a sudden realization on her face, Hu Yifei said. No wonder. I just said, why do the stocks I buy keep falling? I didn't look at that bald analysis before. It seems like I need to look at them more often in the future. It's better to look at me than at him. Lin Chen Dao. Hu Yifei hooked Lin Chen's neck and smiled, saying. Since that's the case, I'll see you every day in the future. Then, help me buy stocks. At this moment, Hu Yifei said again. However, I heard that the successor of Lin's International Bank has left. Do you think this will also affect the stock price? Lin Chen and Lin Wanyu exchanged a glance, but they didn't answer Hu Yifei's words, with an embarrassed smile on their faces. Hee. Hu Yifei saw the commotion between the two of them and felt as if they were hiding something from her. Readers who like this book, vote for it. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The Magic of Guangu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The Magic of Guangu. Don't worry, I am of mixed race from China and South Korea, with 3 master's degrees and proficiency in multiple languages. I have an outstanding image and extraordinary temperament, so you can rest assured. The quality is definitely not a problem. And I am experienced and very professional. The balconies of Love Apartment 3601 and 3602 are connected. After chatting with Hu Yifei, Lin Chen is ready to come and chat with this couple, getting to know each other well. It has been a few days since LV Ziqiao and Chen Meijia moved over, but due to issues with their previous relationship with Hu Yifei, he did not have a good conversation with LV Ziqiao and the others. As soon as I walked in, I saw LV Ziqiao on the phone, listening to boasting. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Bye. After speaking, LV Ziqiao also spoke some English. Lin Chen pretended to be surprised and said, Ziqiao, I didn't expect you to be a top student. Lu Ziqiao proudly straightened his clothes and said solemnly. That's right, brother is very low. Key. Back then, you, LV Ziqiao, were also a beast among beasts and a scumbag among scumbags. Before Lu Ziqiao could finish speaking, Chen Meijia took the words and sneered. LV Ziqiao gave Chen Meijia a white glance and snorted. Too lazy to make reasonable calculations. Then, he said to Lin Chen again. Lin Chen, I'm going to do an important research experiment. Let's talk about it next time. Scientific research experiments. Ziqiao, have you covered so much? Lin Chen asked. I have no choice but to shoulder an important mission for the development of humanity and the happiness index of male-female relationships. I have to go. Lu Ziqiao spoke solemnly. Lin Chen was speechless in his heart, and LV Ziqiao was really the first one to make the donation so important. Chen Meijia looked pitifully at LV Ziqiao and asked. Ziqiao, do you want to make money? Why don't you take me with you? LV Ziqiao disdainfully said. Take you. This job is not something that everyone can do. Upon hearing this, Chen Meijia instantly changed her face and didn't pretend to be pitiful anymore. Cut it off, just leave me alone. I'm sure my income won't be very high. She knew that LV Ziqiao was the kind of person who didn't know how to do hard work, so the easy work income wouldn't be particularly high. Once, this number. LV Ziqiao stretched out 2 fingers and proudly said. 20. LV Ziqiao shook his head. 200. Stupid. 2,000 at a time. LV Ziqiao excitedly said. He finally found this job, although it was only once, for him, the income was already enough. 2,000. Chen Meijia exclaimed in surprise. She heard for the first time that there was a job that could earn 2,000, and it was something even LV Ziqiao could do. Since LV Ziqiao can do it, can Chen Meijia also do it? Ziqiao, take me with you. Chen Meijia began to pretend to be pitiful again, speaking softly in her voice. Lin Chen couldn't bear to watch any more and whispered a few words in Chen Meijia's ear. Then Chen Meijia looked at LV Ziqiao with a disdainful expression. You actually. LV Ziqiao, you. After speaking, he lay down on the sofa and burst into laughter. LV Ziqiao gave Lin Chen a white glance and said calmly. Meijia, you should worry less about others and care more about yourself. Yes, learn from Comrade Ziqiao, do it yourself, and have plenty of food and clothing. Chen Meijia suppressed a smile and said. LV Ziqiao was speechless, but for the sake of money, what is this? Lin Chen, Meijia, don't tell anyone about it. I don't want to either. It's mainly 3 people living in a 4-bedroom apartment, and this month's rent is a huge expense. It's easy for me. Lin Chen approached and hugged LV Ziqiao, patting his back, saying. Come on. You can do it. To be honest, when I used to watch the Love Apartment scene, he laughed very loudly. However, after crossing into this world and becoming a member of the Love Apartment, he thought about whether to help LV Ziqiao and Chen Meijia. It's not about the Virgin Mary Lin Chen, it's just that in this world, for a long time in the future, he will be spending time with everyone in the love apartment. Not to mention now, I will definitely become very good friends in the future. So, helping friends or something, that's not a problem. Besides, is he short of money now? Just as Lin Chen was about to speak, the door was knocked on. Come on. Chen Meijia ran to open the door with a whoosh. In front of the door stood a young man who was 1.81 meters tall, wearing a beige windbreaker and a black framed glasses on his face. Chen Meijia's eyes were momentarily stunned, and she thought to herself, how handsome. For a moment, she fell into a state of flower obsession. Sorry, hello. The young man is a bit shy and speaks with an accent. Lin Chen and LV Ziqiao arrived behind Chen Meijia together, and they spoke in unison. Hello. Lin Chen thought it was someone, but he didn't expect it to be him. Guangu magic. Suddenly, he remembered what had just happened, and it was indeed the time when Guangu's magic appeared. He knew that LV Ziqiao would stay behind to solve the rent problem, and it was not appropriate for him to stay here. So he decided to find an excuse and prepare to leave here. Lin Chen patted LV Ziqiao's shoulder and whispered in his ear. Ziqiao, it seems that your rent has been settled, so there's no need to go. Speaking, he lowered his head to look at a certain part of LV Ziqiao. LV Ziqiao quickly understood Lin Chen's words in his mind and smiled. Yeah, this is just pie falling from the sky. Okay, I won't disturb your performance. I'll leave first. Okay, Lin Chen, just wait for the good news. Lin Chen returned to 3601 from the balcony, and Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu were playing with KFC. Hu Yifei was playing with the cola straw in her hand, constantly rolling her eyes. Upon seeing Lin Chen return, Hu Yifei asked. Why did you come back so quickly? Come on, have some cola. Hu Yifei handed the cola on the table to Lin Chen, and the straw she was playing with was reinserted onto the cola. Lin Chen took the cola, took a sip, and explained. There's a new tenant over there who wants to rent a house, so I came back. Renting someone is also quite good, as I heard from Zeng Xiaoxian. Although LV Ziqiao and Chen Meijia are couples who can have their rent halved, they only live in the two of them in a 4-bedroom apartment, so they still have to pay a lot of rent. Lin Chen didn't answer Hu Yifei's words, but instead held his arms, drank cola, and watched Lin Wanyu and Lu Zhanhua still playing around. Hu Yifei glanced at Lin Chen and then at Lin Wanyu, and said with a slightly sour tone. Why are you jealous when you see Wanyu and my brother playing so happily? Since that night when the two of them slept in the same bed. They seemed to be secretly tied with a red rope by the lunar elder, or both of them had been hit by Cupid's love arrow in their hearts, entangled together vaguely. But neither Lin Chen nor Hu Yifei realized that the other was slowly occupying a piece of land in their own hearts. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Chasing Wanyu, 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Chasing Wanyu, 1. Lin Chen turned his head to look at Hu Yifei and said. That's not true, it's just that you didn't notice. Zhanhua seems to have a good impression of Wanyu. Hu Yifei breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. A stone fell down, and she was really afraid that Lin Chen would say, jealous. If you have a good impression, then you have a good impression. As for young people, it's normal to have a good impression of each other. This sentence seems to be spoken to oneself, and it also seems to be answering Lin Chen. Indeed, there may be a shining point on the other person that attracts them. Lin Chen nodded and said. Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu played and frolicked for a while Lin Chen and Hu Yifei quietly watched them both. They didn't stop until Wanyu said they were going outside to pick up the fashion magazine they had subscribed to. It may rain outside later, why not? Or I'll take you off. Lu Zhanhua quickly stood up and asked nervously. No need. It's okay. Lin Wanyu waved his hand and refused. Be careful on the way. Don't worry. Goodbye. Goodbye. Watching Wan Yu enter the elevator, Lu Zhanbo reluctantly walked back. Just as the door closed, Hu Yifei knocked twice on the table, and Lu Zhanbo shouted excitedly as he ran to open the door. Wanyu, did you forget something? After opening the door, without seeing Wanyu, Lu Zhanbo looked puzzled. Hu Yifei sang a strange song. You are my lover, a woman like a rose with your thick big lips. Lu Zhanbo knew he had been fooled by Hu Yifei and looked unhappy. Sister, are you fooling me? I knocked on my desk, why are you so excited? I didn't see you so proactive when I went out. Lin Chen pretended to sigh and said. You're okay, he doesn't even know when I go to work every day. He and Hu Yifei sat side by side on the sofa, staring at the landing exhibition with scrutinizing eyes. I don't know how many intestines he has since he was young. The large intestine and small intestine, a total of 2. Lin Chen smiled and said. Zhanbo, I've been watching you and Wanyu lately. It's quite hot, isn't it? Where is it? Lu Zhanbo will not admit it. Hu Yifei tilted her eyes and said with a wicked smile. Honestly explain, Zhanbo, are you interested in others? No, it's just some common interests. Lu Zhanbo dared not look directly into the eyes of Hu Yifei, and Lin Chen turned his head to the other side, and casually said. That's good. Since you're not interested, I'll go to Wanyu. Lin Chen pretended to breathe a sigh of relief and said seriously. He had originally intended to deliberately tease Zhanbo, but as soon as he uttered these words, Hu Yifei and his siblings turned their gaze to Lin Chen. Lu Zhanbo wanted to say something, but he moved his mouth and didn't say anything. Hu Yifei patted Lin Chen's chest in frustration, lowered her voice, and said. You try chasing Wanyu, and I'll unscrew your skull then. Cough cough, just kidding, just kidding. Didn't I just say that? I don't have any feelings for Wanyu. Lin Chen smiled and explained. I just want to use this kind of provocation to make Zhanbo boldly admit it. Hu Yifei ignored Lin Chen and turned to Zhanbo, saying. Zhanbo, this is a love apartment, not a single love apartment. Can't you show some courage and courage? Love is love, good is good. There's nothing shameful about it. After speaking, he also looked at Lin Chen and couldn't help feeling a bit disappointed when he saw that the other party hadn't seen her. Sister, I really have nothing to do with Wanyu. At this moment, Lin Chen took up the conversation again. Zhanbo, since you have nothing to do with Wanyu, I'll go. To be honest, I quite like Wanyu. She's cute, innocent, beautiful. While speaking, Lin Chen also put on a very admiring look. It seems that he really likes Lin Wanyu. Actually, Lin Wanyu is really good. The daughter of Lin's international bank is still the kind of only child. In addition, Lin Wanyu's carefree personality lacks the softness of a young lady. I really want to be a girlfriend, it seems really nice. Cough cough. Hu Yifei coughed heavily twice, pulling Lin Chen back from her fantasies. She said. Lin Chen, since you like Wanyu, then go chase her. I support you. If you can't chase girls, I can still teach you. Hu Yifei knew that Lin Chen was trying to stimulate her younger brother and give Lu Zhanbo the courage to pursue Lin Wanyu, so she added fuel to the fire. You teach me. Chasing girls. Lin Chen looked at Hu Yifei with suspicion. Hu Yifei nodded. Yeah. I'll teach you. Do you know how to chase? Please, are you a girl? Lin Chen gave Hu Yifei a white glance, knowing her way of chasing girls. It's nothing more than 3 waves of truth, romance, waste, and moaning. In his eyes as a traveler, these are all outdated. What's wrong with girls? I'll tell you, only we girls understand girls. Hu Yifei lifted the cuffs of her clothes and pretended to be experienced, saying. To pursue a girl, the first step is to get to know each other well, including education, family, background, hobbies, and temperament. Even if she is the daughter of an African cannibal chieftain, she can still be taken care of. So, you want to teach me to pursue Wanyu? Lin Chen asked. Go on the side, I'm a church exhibition, let him follow me. Hu Yifei said. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhanbo quickly shook his head and refused, saying, No, 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 I can't. I've never pursued a girl before. Sister, don't force me. He had a bitter expression on his face, chasing girls, which he had never done before. I think his way of getting along with Wanyu is quite good now. If he goes any further, he really dares not. I didn't force you to do anything from childhood to adulthood. Stop talking nonsense and arrange for Wanyu to come out for dinner tonight. I'll help you then. Hu Yifei said decisively. She never forgets what she does, and when she has an idea, she immediately takes action. And what about me? Lin Chen pointed to himself and asked. Hu Yifei gave him a contemptuous glance and said, in order to successfully catch up with Wanyu during this exhibition, please be by my side to assist me. No, what I mean is that Zhanbo is pursuing Wanyu, what about me? You. Look at yourself. Hu Yifei ignored Lin Chen and took out an invisible earphone, saying. Zhanbo, in order to ensure foolproof and some unreliable existence, I will also impart to you the long-lost 3 waves of truth in the martial arts world. Lu Zhanbo looked puzzled and asked. What is the 3 waves of truth? Before Hu Yifei could answer, Lin Chen said first. Romantic, wasteful, and wanton. Ah. Is this reliable? Lin Chen shrugged and said. If it were you alone, it would be quite reliable, but now that your sister is involved, it's probably not possible. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Zeng Xiaoxian discovers 2 secrets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Zeng Xiaoxian discovers 2 secrets. What? Do you have any objections to my 3 waves of truth? Hu Yifei said coldly. No, no. You can teach Zhanbo, I'll leave first. Realizing something was wrong, Lin Chen hurriedly left. Hu Yifei looked at Lin Chen's departure and let out a cold snort. This guy, isn't what he just said obvious? Lin Chen went out and met Lin Wanyu with a worried expression in the park downstairs of the apartment. Wanyu, what are you thinking? Lin Chen walked over and asked Lin Wanyu, who was sitting on a bench, holding a magazine and feeling worried. Lin Chen. No, Mr. Lin. Lin Wanyu said in panic. Lin Chen smiled and said. Don't call me Mr. Lin, just call my name. Okay, Lin Chen. After speaking, Lin Wanyu lowered his head and remained silent. Are you thinking about the exhibition? Lin Wanyu didn't answer and nodded lightly. Just now she received a call from Lu Zhanbo, saying she wants to be invited to dinner. Although she may seem innocent, she was born into a wealthy family. Lin Wanyu had already guessed some of Lu Zhanbo's thoughts. Zhanbo is a pretty good person. He's silly and doesn't have any bad intentions, so there's no need to worry too much. Lin Chen comforted. Lin Wanyu nodded again and whispered. Zhanbo is quite good, and the people are also very nice. However, that's not what I'm worried about. Oh. So what are you worried about? Lin Chen thought that Lin Wanyu was worried about Lu Zhanbo's character and that he was a bad person, so he was very worried. But now that Lin Wanyu is not worried about this, he has become curious. Look. Lin Wanyu took out a newspaper from the magazine and handed it to Lin Chen. Lin Chen opened it and immediately noticed a page of news in the newspaper. It reads. Lin's International Bank chairman's daughter disappearance. Bounty of 3 million renminbi in search of whereabouts. The following is a long page that introduces the characteristics of Lin Wanyu, and also includes a photo of Lin Wanyu. Lin Chen finally understood what Lin Wanyu was worried about. He returned the newspaper to Lin Wanyu and asked. It's been so long, I haven't asked you why did you sneak out. Lin Wanyu sighed and said with a hint of resentment. Originally, my dad wanted to match the two of us, but later you refused. My dad wanted to introduce me to someone who was digging oil in Arabia. I heard that the son who was digging oil was also someone with exceptional abilities. I didn't want to get married so early, so I secretly ran out. Lin Chen smiled awkwardly, afraid to look at Lin Wanyu's melancholic gaze. He quickly changed the topic and said. So, are you afraid that your identity will be exposed and you will eventually be taken back by your father? Yeah, I really don't want to get married so early. I'm still young, I want to play first. I see, I have a solution here. Would you like to hear it? What's the solution? Lin Wanyu's eyes lit up instantly, looking at Lin Chen with hope. I'll call your dad and explain the situation, so he can rest assured to keep you here. Lin Chen Dao. Is that okay? My dad's temper. If he knew about it, he wouldn't agree. Lin Wanyu said in disappointment. Lin Chen patted Lin Wanyu's shoulder and confidently said. Don't worry, your dad will definitely agree. I'll call him now, you wait for my good news. What if he doesn't agree and sends someone to take me back then? Lin Wanyu worried. That's not easy. You can go to my company and hide then. No matter what he does, he wouldn't have thought you would be in my company, would he? After thinking for a moment and weighing the pros and cons, Lin Wanyu finally agreed to let Lin Chen call. I have no choice but to treat a dead horse as a living horse doctor. What if my father agrees? Lin Chen dialed Lin Wanyu's father's phone number, but instead of making the call in front of Lin Wanyu, he walked over to the side and made the call. Lin Wanyu sat on the bench and looked at Lin Chen. 3 minutes later, Lin Chen walked over and Lin Wanyu immediately asked. How's it going? Has my dad agreed? Agreed, keep reminding me to take care of you. Really? That's really great. Lin Wanyu was ecstatic, and she hugged Lin Chen tightly in excitement. Can you rest assured now? You can rest assured. Thank you so much, Lin Chen. Perhaps he was too happy, Lin Wanyu's pure face turned a little red. Just as the two of them were happy, on the other side, Zeng Xiaoxian, chewing gum, was stunned to see this scene. Oh my god. Zeng Xiaoxian was so surprised that he couldn't close his mouth. It wasn't long before Lin Chen and Lin Wanyu became so intimate. No, this secret must be told to everyone. Zeng Xiaoxian thought to himself. He hurried to the apartment, and now he lives in 3602, so he plans to tell LV Ziqiao and Chen Meijia the news first. Ziqiao Jun Meijia Jun. Come out quickly, I have discovered a huge secret. As soon as he entered 3602, Zeng Xiaoxian began to shout loudly. However, no one answered his words. Lord Lubu, little Jiao Chan. No one answered his words, so he prepared to knock on their bedroom door and take a look. As soon as he arrived at the bedroom door, Zeng Xiaoxian heard the voice of Chen Meijia coming from inside. This is your new studio, let's see how it goes. Thank you. Zeng Xiaoxian furrowed his brow. It's true that the female voice is Chen Meijia, but the male voice is not LV Ziqiao's. He secretly opened the door and let out a crack. Looking inside secretly from outside, I found Chen Meijia and a man in the room. From now on, let's start decorating our dream factory. Hi-e. Looking at the tall figure of the man and listening to his tone of voice, Zeng Xiaoxian was stunned. That man is not LV Ziqiao. Suddenly, a certain scene came to his mind. Today, he unexpectedly encountered two shocking secrets. Is this some kind of omen? At the entrance of 3601, Lin Chen rubbed Lin Wanyu's head and said. Go in. Now you don't have to worry about being caught by your father, you can live the life you want. Thank you, brother Lin Chen. No need to thank you. Why did you call me brother? Lin Chen asked. Wan Yu happily said. Because you are like a brother, protecting my sister. Okay. Then I'll be your brother from now on. Lin Chen pinched Wan Yu's nose. Lin Chen, who was an orphan in his previous life and still an orphan in this life, felt the feeling of having a family. Alright, hurry inside. Zhanbua is inviting you to dinner. Lin Chen, why don't you accompany me inside? Wan Yu said softly. Zhanbua, you're not me. Go ahead. I'm at 3602, you can come find me after you finish eating. Before returning, Lin Chen received a text message from Hu Yifei, stating that it was for the revitalization of their family and not to undermine Lu Zhanbua's plan to pursue Wanyu. Lin Chen cannot return to 3601 tonight. Okay. Wanyu nodded, took a deep breath, opened the door, and walked in. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Chasing Wanyu, 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Chasing Wanyu, 2. Lin Chen arrived at 3602 and pushed the door in, only to find that there was no one in the living room. Recalling the plot, Lin Chen first went to the balcony and saw Hu Yifei squatting on the ground with a telescope, looking in the direction of 3601. Then, he walked lightly to the other side and found Zeng Xiaoxian pursing his buttocks, sneakily lying on the door. Lin Chen shook his head helplessly and coughed loudly twice. Cough cough. Hu Yifei and Zeng Xiaoxian were startled and quickly turned around to look back. When Hu Yifei saw Lin Chen, she slapped him on the back of the head and angrily said. Can't you keep your voice down? It scared me. Lin Chen touched the spot where she had just been beaten by Hu Yifei and said in silence. Please, I've been in for so long, haven't you heard me? Have you been in here for a long time? By the way, where did you go all afternoon? Why didn't I see you? I agreed to be my assistant, but the person disappeared. Forget it, I'm too lazy to explain to you. Teacher Zeng, what were you sneaking around on the door just now? Lin Chen changed the topic and was too lazy to argue with Hu Yifei. Zeng Xiaoxian felt a bit panicked when he saw Lin Chen. In the afternoon, he only stumbled upon the intimate scene between Lin Chen and Wanyu. Now, when he encounters Lin Chen, he dare not look at him directly. Hello, Teacher Zeng, am I very scary? Lin Chen asked in silence. Zeng Xiaoxian lowered his head, afraid to look at him, which made Lin Chen feel puzzled. This guy won't do anything, he's afraid of being seen through by himself, right? No, not scary. Zeng Xiaoxian stumbled back. Hu Yifei looked at Zeng Xiaoxian strangely, she still knew Zeng Xiaoxian. The more Zeng Xiaoxian is like this, the more people feel suspicious. Lin Chenbai glanced at Zeng Xiaoxian and said. Teacher Zeng, if I'm not scary, why do you lower your head when you see me? Yeah, Zeng Xiaoxian, shouldn't you have done anything wrong to Lin Chen? Hu Yifei smiled and said. How? How could it be? Don't slander me. I just discovered a secret. Zeng Xiaoxian defended himself. What secret? Times two Lin Chen and Hu Yifei asked in unison. The secret is. Yes. Zeng Xiaoxian stuttered again. He just casually made an excuse himself, and if he really wants to say it, he doesn't even know which one to say. Hey, you speak quickly. Hu Yifei urged. She will also be directing Zhanbua on how to pursue Wanyu later. Zeng Xiaoxian is wasting her time. Forget it, I'll tell you later. Goodbye. Zeng Xiaoxian looked at Lin Chen standing between him and Hu Yifei, thought for a moment, and decided to tell Hu Yifei when Lin Chen was not around. He lay back on the door, sneaking a peek. Love doesn't talk, don't talk, pull it down. Hu Yifei didn't have time to waste time with him, holding a telescope and continuing to peep. Lin Chen was speechless, and he stood still with a bewildered expression on his face. Hu Yifei returned and took Lin Chen's arm to the balcony, saying, "I almost forgot that you, the assistant, are also here." Hu Yifei held the walkie-talkie and commanded Lu Zhanhua in the living room of 3601. The first wave of the Three Realms. Romance. Lin Wanyu is now sitting opposite Lu Zhanhua, looking at him with a strange expression. She thought to herself, why don't we just have a meal? Why do you feel so nervous about Zhanhua? Yifei, your method doesn't have much effect on Wanyu. Lin Chen, who knew the development of the plot, interrupted Hu Yifei. Hu Yifei said angrily. You don't even have a girlfriend yourself, how do you know if it's useful? No, what I mean is. Lin Chen wanted to explain, but when he saw Hu Yifei's cold gaze, he wisely closed his mouth. He decided to do whatever Hu Yifei likes, just watch it obediently from the side. Next, Hu Yifei's three true words were all broken by Lin Wanyu, and she herself had no moves. How could this be? How could she understand so much? Hu Yifei exclaimed in surprise. Lin Chen hugged his arm and said lightly. See, I'll just say it. Your things are useless. It's all your fault. Hu Yifei said angrily. What's it to me? Lin Chen said innocently. If you had persuaded me before, I wouldn't have failed. You're really right. Hu Yifei sat weakly on the sofa and said, I have been famous for a lifetime, but I didn't expect it to be ruined by a little girl. I've said it all, your method is not suitable for Wanyu. Do you think we should? Halfway through her words, Hu Yifei caught a glimpse of Zeng Xiaoxian lying on the door, peeping, and stopped talking. She quietly walked over and kicked Zeng Xiaoxian with her foot. Zeng Xiaoxian was startled and turned around to make a hissing gesture. What are you doing? As a host, you've become psychologically abnormal. You're actually peeping. Hu Yifei said disdainfully. Something big happened. Zeng Xiaoxian arrived on the sofa and anxiously said. Lin Chen calmly drank the water and said. Teacher Zeng, are you saying that Meijia brought a green hat to LV? How do you know? Zeng Xiaoxian asked in surprise. Lin Chen drank water and said. The room you're peeping into is your new roommate 3602, and Meijia is helping her organize things inside. What, Meijia is actually with her new roommate? Zeng Xiaoxian began to imagine that scene crazily in his mind. Teacher Zeng, what's in your mind? Don't be so dirty, okay? Lin Chen really impressed Zeng Xiaoxian's imagination. This guy's imagination doesn't need to go straight. Hu Yifei also spoke up. Yeah, Zeng Xiaoxian. Why are you thinking so dirty in your mind? You think everyone is like you? No, I really. Zeng Xiaoxian wanted to explain, but Lin Chen pulled him and pushed open the door where he had just eavesdropped. As soon as the door opened, Zeng Xiaoxian immediately covered his eyes and dared not look. Lin Chen, Yifei and Teacher Zeng, are you? Chen Meijia looked at the three of them and asked in confusion. Hu Yifei explained. Zeng Xiaoxian thought you were in the room, but Lin Chen pulled him to verify that you didn't have that. In the end, he found out that you didn't have that, so we didn't have that anymore. What? Chen Meijia looked at Hu Yifei in confusion. What did she say, what was it? Guangu Magical is still seeing them for the first time and asks. Meijia, they are. Oh, let me introduce you. This is Lin Chen and Yifei. They live next door at 3601. This is Teacher Zeng, who is our roommate. Guangu magically bowed deeply and introduced himself. Hello everyone, my name is Guangu Magic, from RB Yokohama. Hello. Lin Chen extended his hand and shook hands with Guangu magically, thinking to himself, Guangu Jun, hello. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Be my girlfriend. Today, for readers who are tipping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Be my girlfriend. Today, for readers who are tipping, add more. A few people got to know each other for a while, and Zeng Xiaoxian looked embarrassed. Teacher Zeng, I've said it all, you just have a dirty mind. That's right, Zeng Xiaoxian. Otherwise, Lin Chen just came in and you might have spread the word, causing an uproar. Hu Yifei also criticized Zeng Xiaoxian. Zeng Xiaoxian didn't speak, it was indeed his own mistake. However, in his opinion, he is not entirely wrong either. Chen Meijia and LV Ziqiao's new roommates didn't even mention it to him, and that voice just now is really easy to misunderstand. What are you talking about? Teacher Zeng, what's going on here? Chen Meijia asked in confusion. You ask him. ×2 Lin Chen and Hu Yifei tacitly pointed to Zeng Xiaoxian. He. Nothing. Nothing. Suddenly, Hu Yifei seemed to hear something and shouted loudly. Damn it. Speaking, he hurriedly ran out of the living room. Slow down. Lin Chen also followed and ran out. The remaining three looked at each other, unsure of what had happened. Outside the living room of 3602, Hu Yifei held a walkie-talkie and kept reciting. It's done. It's done. Lin Chen sighed and comforted, saying. Yifei, it's okay. Anyway, everything has already happened. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu pushed the door open and walked in. You. Hu Yifei looked at them nervously. However, her gaze was on the hands of Lu Zhanhua and Lin Wanyu. Not being together is indeed a failure. Sister, Wanyu said she has something she wants to say to everyone. Lu Zhanhua said. Words. Hu Yifei's eyes lit up again. I feel so happy in my heart. I thought my younger brother would definitely not succeed without his own help. But looking at this posture now, it seems like it has become successful. The family is finally going to revive. Lin Wanyu looked at a few people, and finally his gaze fell on Lin Chen. Lin Chen nodded and said. Wan Yu, if you want to say it, just say it. Okay. Lin Wanyu said. My real name is Lin Wanyu, and my father is the chairman of Lin's International Bank. Zeng Xiaoxian widened his eyes and exclaimed in surprise. Lin's International Bank. Are you referring to that Lin's International Bank? Yes. I should have studied at the New York Conservatory of Music, but my dad insisted on me going on blind dates with someone else. Who are you going on a blind date with? The owner of Morning Glory Group, or Gates' son or Buffett's nephew? Zeng Xiaoxian quickly asked. The people he just mentioned are all billionaires. Lin Chen said in silence. Teacher Zeng, just tell me what's up to me. Zeng Xiaoxian waved his hand and said. Alright, Lin Chen, I already know. I've seen everything about you and Wanyu in the park this afternoon. Do you still want to hide it? Zeng Xiaoxian's words brightened everyone's eyes, but only two people's eyes dimmed. That's Hu Yifei and Lu Zhanhua. The former secretly looked at Lin Chen, while the latter looked at Lin Wanyu. In the afternoon, Wan Yu and I. The park. Lin Chen thought that when he hugged Lin Wanyu in the afternoon, Zeng Xiaoxian must have misunderstood. Teacher Zeng, I think you misunderstood. This afternoon. Lin Chen briefly explained the afternoon's events and finally said. So, now I am Wanyu's brother. Okay. Tonight everyone gathered together again, but LV Ziqiao was not there. After drinking and eating, everyone felt dizzy. The morning sunshine is full of love. Comfortable and intoxicating, what is so soft? He looked at where his hand was touching, his mind instantly clear, and he was stunned. He immediately looked at himself, his clothes and pants were all gone. Have you touched enough? A cold voice sounded, and Lin Chen shuddered. Yifei, last night. Lin Chen tried to explain with a bitter face. But for a moment, I didn't know how to speak. I drank too much last night, and he only remembers holding Hu Yifei and shouting loudly, "I love you." Then he couldn't remember anything clearly. Hu Yifei didn't shy away and stood up, putting on clothes while saying, "Don't be so motherly. You have to keep your promises about what happened last night." "Last night? What happened?" Hu Yifei smiled and said. "Someone made an agreement with me last night that as long as I become someone's girlfriend, I will definitely abide by the 3 obediences and 4 virtues, and listen to everything I say in the future." Really, Lin Chen tried hard to recall what happened last night, but the more he thought about it, the more he couldn't remember anything. Hu Yifei gave Lin Chen a white glance. This guy is really serious. "Alright, get up quickly." Hu Yifei picked up Lin Chen's torn clothes from the ground and threw them over. Lin Chen picked up this tattered clothes and sighed in his heart, wondering how crazy it was last night. After returning to his room, he changed into new clothes and silently thought to himself, "Check in. Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and obtaining the Kung Fu iron cloth shirt." Lin Chen twisted his body and there was no change. So he picked up a small knife and scratched himself without any wounds, indicating that the iron cloth shirt given by the system had already begun to be used. Coming out of the room, Hu Yifei sat on the sofa in the living room, her eyes fixed on the TV without moving. Lin Chen looked at Hu Yifei and thought to himself how to handle the next thing. Last night, he and Hu Yifei had already cooked ripe rice. As a man, he wouldn't run away. He is going to face these things he couldn't remember last night, and today he wants to say them again. "Yifei, let's talk about it." Lin Chen sat next to Hu Yifei. "What are we talking about?" Hu Yifei asked lightly. "Let's talk about our relationship." Hu Yifei glanced at Lin Chen and saw his serious expression. She turned off the TV and met Lin Chen's gaze in the air. "Speak up." "Okay, Yifei, I want you to be my girlfriend. Of course, besides being a girlfriend, I also want you to be my wife," Lin Chen said in a deep voice. During the year spent with Hu Yifei, he also felt a liking for her. He likes Hu Yifei. When he used to watch TV dramas, he also liked Hu Yifei very much. He knows how to be tough on the outside and gentle on the inside, it's just a piece for a woman. Moreover, he also knew that Hu Yifei was savage, fierce, and hot-tempered, but it was such a girl that he truly liked. "Okay." Hu Yifei readily agreed. "Ah." Lin Chen was stunned. He thought that according to Hu Yifei's personality, she would not agree so readily. "What, you want to go back on your word?" Hu Yifei clenched her fist and asked coldly. End of this chapter.